Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We begin in the name of Almighty Allah, the most magnificent, the ever merciful. We glorify Him, we praise Him, and we elevate His name as He ought to be elevated. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I extend to you the eternal and the universal salutation of peace. May the peace, blessings, and mercies of Almighty Allah be upon you. Most pleasant good morning to one and all of this beautiful Friday morning. How are you doing this morning? How has your morning been thus far? How has your week been thus far? We are coming now towards the end of this particular week. Of course, you can let me know via the WhatsApp number 2994103. I do hope that you are healthy and well, safe and sound, enjoying a period of happiness, prosperity, and well-being. I'm your host and brother in humanity, Imam Safraz Ghani, here in your company once again on this auspicious and holy day of Friday, the day of Jum'ah, right here in Trinidad and Tobago, the very blessed day during the course of the week. And of course, we say a very special thank you going out to Pandit Shiv and Hari Prasad for those beautiful, inspirational words of motivation. And of course, as we always do, we wish him a safe and a speedy trip back home. All praises are due to Almighty Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the magnificent, the merciful, Master of the Day of Judgment. Oh Allah, it is you do we worship, and from you only do we ask for help. Guide us to the straight path, the path of those upon whom you have bestowed your favor, not the path of those who have evoked your anger, nor the path of those who have gone astray. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Today's Islamic date is the 14th day in the month of Shawwal, which of course is the 10th month on the Islamic calendar in the year 1444. 2 weeks have now gone by since the end of the month of Ramadan. We have now come to the end of this particular month, halfway through the end of this particular month. And today also coincides with the first Friday in the month of May in the year 2023. And as we're getting ready to commence the holy day of Jum'ah here in Trinidad and Tobago, allow me now to take the opportunity to officially welcome you live on air, on the internet, and of course live on Facebook for this weekly program titled Soul Inspirations. Your program for inspiration, information, education, and entertainment. By all means, do keep it locked on to 103.1 FM. This is Soul Inspirations, and I'm yours truly, Imam Safraz Ghani. A message from the sky, a mercy for mankind. If you lose your word, will always be your guide. Greater than this world, move mountains with its word. Fixed every part of me and put my heart at ease. And no one knows words heal a soul most beautiful of miracles. The more you read, the more you feel Allah's love with every beat. Al-Quran, Nur wa Bayan. Al-Quran, Hadiyul Iman. Al-Quran, مسك الختام. يا قرآن عليك سلام. كلام الله الذكر شفاء للصدور آياته جمال تحلو به الحياة قلبي يشتاق إليه نور بين يدي رفيق في الحياة طريقي للجنة علم يقين هدي مبين يجلو الأحزان يحيي الإنسان شوق وشجون دم وحنين متمازج يقرأ القرآن نور وبيان القرآن هدي الإيمان القرآن مسك الختام يا قرآن عليك سلام اللهم اجعل القرآن العظيم ربيع قلوبنا ونور صدورنا وجلاء همومنا وهدينا في الدنيا والآخرة القرآن نور وبيان القرآن هدي الإيمان القرآن مسك الختام يا قرآن عليك سلام You're tuned into Soul Inspirations on 103.1 FM with yours truly, Imam Safraz Ghani. And as always, I must say it's an absolute honor and a personal pleasure to be in your company once again for around about the next hour or so. I want to take the opportunity as well to say that the program this morning is being brought to you through the kind courtesies of Adams Project Management and Construction Limited, located at number 66 Omera Industrial Estate in Arima. Contact number 645-8326-6639-144. Island Chicken Meats and Poultry Processors, located at number 47 Carly Savannah Road in Charleville. Phone numbers 471-3850-3825-418. Nicer Brand Products Limited of number 23 Brocard Road out there in Canupia. Phone number 665-3078-665-3079. An F&A Hardware and Shopping Center located at number 280 Roshad Douglas Road out there in Barrow. Contact number 2778,000. I also want to take the opportunity as well to say a very pleasant good morning going out to Mira Ramdarain. Assalamu alaikum going out to Vani Bahadur. Anjali Ramsaran from out there in Friendship Village. Pleasant good morning going out to you as well. Amita Ramdas from out there in Karapi, China. Sister Lisa from out there in Komoto. Chandra, pleasant good morning going out to you as well. Susan Ramratan Bajan, may Allah continue to bless you and your family. Assalamu alaikum going out to Patsy Puran from out there in Shagonas, Judy Bihari from out there in Salazar Trace, and Elsie Lakan from out there in Gathro. Thank you so much for your messages. Welcome to the program. It's always a pleasure having you on board this morning. On the program this morning, of course, we have a very absorbing segment lined up for you. As always, we start off with our short inspirational segment, followed by the early morning call to prayer. And as we go through the course of the hour, I'll be sharing with you a few beautiful Islamic selections. And coming up later on our lecture segments, I'll be sharing with you two very inspirational, very important points. That, of course, is coming up a bit later on our lecture segment. So by all means, do keep it locked to 103.1 FM. You're tuned into Soul Inspirations, and I'm yours truly, Imam Safraz Ghani.
حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد صلى الله لا إله إلا الله حسبي ربي جل الله ما في قلبي غير الله نور محمد محمد صلی اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ. وہ جو بلال حبشی ہے سروردی کا پیارا ہے. وہ جو بلال حبشی ہے سروردی کا پیارا ہے. دنیا کے ہر عاشق کی آنکھوں کا وہ تارا ہے. وہ جو بلال حبشی ہے سروردی کا پیارا ہے. دنیا کے ہر عاشق کی آنکھوں کا وہ تارا ہے. ظلم ہوئے کتنے اس پر سینے پر رکھا پاتر لب پر پھر بھی جاری تھا لا الہ الا اللہ. حسبی ربی جل اللہ ما فی قلبی غیر اللہ. نور محمد صلی اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ. حسبی ربی جل اللہ ما فی قلبی غیر اللہ. نور محمد صلی اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ. اپنی بہن سے بولے عمر یہ تب بتا کیا کرتی تھی. اپنی بہن سے بولے عمر یہ تب بتا کیا کرتی تھی. میرے آنے سے پہلے کیا چھپ کے پڑھتی تھی. اپنی بہن سے بولے یہ تو پتا کیا کرتے تھے. میرے آنے سے پہلے کیا چھپ کے پڑھتی تھی. بہن نے جب قرآن پڑھا سن کے کلام پاک خدا دل عمر کا بول اٹھا لا الہ الا اللہ. حسبی ربی جل ما فی قلبی غیر اللہ. نور محمد صلی اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ.
Allah's blessings and mercies on this beautiful Friday morning. It is, of course, the day of Jum'ah, a very blessed day during the course of the week. We thank Almighty Allah for giving us the opportunity to witness another day of Jum'ah, and also for granting us the opportunity at another shot at life. As we look forward to another day in our lives, it is important that we remember that life never seems to be the way we want it to be. Sometimes there are ups, sometimes there are downs. But all we can do is that we can live life in the best possible manner that we can. There is no perfect life, but we can definitely fill it with perfect moments. And as you go through the journey of your life, believe in yourself and all that you are. And know that definitely there is something inside you that is by far greater than any obstacle that can come in front of you. So as we welcome in a new day, know that you can't just hope for a brighter day. You have to work for a brighter day. And the harder you work, the brighter the day seems to become. So as we kickstart this day of Jum'ah, a very blessed day in the week, I pray that Almighty Allah blesses you on this day. May He remove all challenges and obstacles from your path. May He guide your footsteps always. May He bless you and your families with happiness, prosperity, and the strength and courage to face the challenges that will come your way this day. I want to take the opportunity as well to say a very special thank you going out to the sponsors. Program this morning is being brought to you through the kind courtesies of Nice Abraham Products Limited of number 23 Bokal Road out there in Canupia. Phone number 665-3078, 665-3079. F&A Hardware and Shopping Center located at number 280 Roshad Douglas Road out there in Barrockport. Contact number 277-8000. Island Chicken Meats and Poultry Processors located at number 47 Carolee Savannah Road in Charleville. Phone numbers 4713-850, 382-5418. The Original Barbecue Hut Limited located at number 85 to 89 Sipera Road, Victoria Village in San Fernando. Phone number 657-9429. And of course, you can message me this morning via the WhatsApp number 2994103. Coming up very shortly is our inspirational segment. So by all means, do keep it locked on to 103.1 FM. You are tuned into Soul Inspirations. And I'm yours truly, Imam Safrazgan. So like I mentioned at the start of the program, today marks the end of 2 weeks. 2 weeks have now gone by since the end of the holy month of Ramadan. And as we all know, our aim within the month of Ramadan is to quite simply inculcate those characteristics that will surely benefit us outside of the month of Ramadan. So this morning, I want to touch on one of those characteristics, one of those things that will benefit us in Ramadan, but also outside of Ramadan as well. And on that note, I want to remind you of the English proverb that practice makes perfect. Practice makes a man perfect. And that simply means that when you practice something again and again, you will eventually become the master of that particular thing. And by practice, it means that doing the same thing repeatedly over and over again until eventually it becomes your second nature. So the characteristic that we would have learned in the month of Ramadan is none other than the characteristic of consistency. To do something so repeatedly that it becomes your second nature, whether it's prayer, fasting, charity, sharing a good word, a kind gesture, and so on and so forth. Doing those things consistently is what will benefit the individual in the long run. Again, these are things that should not just be confined to the month of Ramadan. We should develop the mentality of doing it again and again, repeatedly in the month of Ramadan, outside of the month of Ramadan, so that eventually it becomes your second nature and it becomes genuinely who you are as an individual. As we go through the journey of our lives, there are two very important aspects. Number one, motivation, and number two, consistency. The importance of motivation and consistency in everyday life cannot be stressed enough. These are concepts which will benefit a person outside of the month of Ramadan as well. After all, like they say, Rome was not built in a day. And it certainly was not built on motivation alone. You have to be consistent in what you do. We all have those days when we don't feel like doing anything at all. We feel like just lying in bed, or maybe we had a tough day at work, or you're just feeling tired or lazy. Whatever the reason is, It is so easy to let our motivation slip on these days. But I can say this to you, that if you are consistent, even on the days when you don't feel like doing something, you will definitely get things done on those days as well. Why? Because of your consistency. And usually, once you have started, it is not as bad as you thought it would be. In the beginning, you are motivated. In the beginning of any particular action, any particular deed, you are motivated and you're excited to make a change. But eventually, that motivation begins to fade. That motivation begins to boil down, so to say. And it becomes harder and harder to stick with your goals. Motivation, by all means, is great for getting started. But it is important to remember that motivation would not last forever. And relying on motivation alone to get you through your day can be a whole roller coaster up and down with many highs and many lows. On the other hand, consistency is a steadier force that will help you to stay on track even when you don't feel like it. And now that 2 weeks have come to an end after the month of Ramadan, it is important that we remember this particular concept. Motivation, but even more importantly, consistency. Repeatedly doing something again and again, so that it becomes part of who you are. And on that note, I want to share with you this very interesting story that I came across earlier in the week. And it is about the same concept of consistently doing something again and again. So there was a woman who would bake bread for her family members on a daily basis. And every day she would bake one extra bread to share with a hungry passerby. So she kept the extra bread on the windowsill for whoever would be hungry and whoever would want to take it away. So every day, a beggar came and took away the bread. But instead of expressing his gratitude, he would always mutter a few words, and then when he would go away, he would always say that the evil you do remains with you, the good you do comes back to you. And after saying these words, he would go away. This went on day after day. Every day the beggar came, picked up the bread, uttered those words, the evil you do remains with you, the good you do will come back to you. And after some time, the woman felt quite irritated. She said to herself that not even a single word of gratitude. This beggar, he's getting a bread every day and he doesn't even have a word of thanks. Every day he utters this phrase. What does this phrase actually mean? So one day, she became so frustrated that she decided to do away with him. Her emotions got the better of her. She said that I will get rid of him. And what she did was that she added poison to the bread that she prepared for him. But as she was about to put it on the windowsill, her hands trembled and she asked herself, what it is are you doing? Immediately she got hold of herself and she threw the bread into the fire. She prepared another one and she kept it on the windowsill for when the beggar came around. As usual, the beggar came around, picked up the bread, muttered the words, the evil you do remains with you, the good you do comes back to you, and then he proceeded on his way. Totally unaware of the war raging inside of the mind of the woman. So every day, as the woman placed the bread on the windowsill, she would offer a prayer for her son, who had gone to a distant place to seek his fortune. For many months, she had no news of him. So every day, while she would place that bread on the windowsill, she would pray for his safe return. That evening, there was a knock on the door. As soon as she opened it, she was surprised to find her son standing right there in the door. He had grown thin and lean, his garments were torn and tattered, He was hungry and starving. When he saw his mother, he said, "Mom, it is a miracle that I am here today." He said, "While I was but a mile away, I was so hungry that I collapsed and I couldn't move on. I thought that I would have died." But just then, an old beggar passed by. I begged him for a morsel of food, and he was kind enough to give me a whole bread. And as he gave it to me, he said that this is what I eat every single day. Today I shall give it to you, for your need is greater than mine. As the mother heard these words, her face turned pale. She leaned against the door for support, and she remembered the poisoned bread that she had prepared for the beggar that morning. Had she not burnt it in the fire, it would have been consumed by her very own son, and he would have eventually lost his life. It was then that she realized the significance of the words of the beggar, that the evil you do remains with you, the good you do comes right back to you. So do good. Don't ever stop doing good. Even if at times it may not be appreciated, it may seem as though people around you are not appreciating the good that you do, continue to do good, because there will always be a great reward for any good deed that you do consistently, repeatedly, again and again, regardless of the situation, regardless of the consequences. And finally, I want to end by sharing with you this poem. That when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you are trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile but you have no choice but to sigh, when stress is pressing you down, rest if you must, but don't you ever quit. Life is square with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns, and many a failure turns about when he might have won if he had stuck it out. Don't give up though the pace seems low or slow. You might succeed with another blow. Often the struggler has given up when he might have captured the victor's cup. And he learned too late when the night slipped down how close he was to the golden crown. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of clouds of doubt, and you never can tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems afar, so stick to the fight. When you are hardest hit, it's when things seem worst that you must not quit. May Almighty Allah continue to bless us, and may we be granted the quality and the characteristic of consistency. We can continue to worship Almighty Allah even as the month of Ramadan has now departed, so that we can draw the light of the good deeds that we do in this life and also in the life of the hereafter. At this point in the program, we now go to the early morning call to prayer. The early morning call to prayer is being brought to you through the kind courtesies of Absolute Investments Limited on Monroe Road in Columbia.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على حي على حي على حي
A very special thank you going out to the sponsors. The program this morning is being brought to you through the kind courtesies of Absolute Investments Limited of Monroe Road in Cunupia. The Price Club Supermarket located at Ramsaran Street in Chaguanas, contact number 671-7777. Point Fortin Hardware Limited Wholesale Division located at Frederick Settlement in Currany. Phone number 662-1233-678-0857. And I also want to take the opportunity as well to say a very special salam and greetings of peace going out to Shafizar Muhammad. Pleasant good morning as well going out to Mindy Sumail from out there in St. Helena. Shoba from out there in Kamutu. Assalamu alaikum, Jumma Mubarak going out to you and your family as well. A very, very pleasant good morning going out to Brother Fareed from out there in Dow Village. And of course, we say Assalamu alaikum going out to Sister Mira. And this, of course, is going out to you from your loving husband, Brother Fareed from out there in Dow Village. Ruby Sami from out there in Williamsville. Pleasant good morning going out to you as well. Lisa Ganis from out there in Cedrus. Assalamu alaikum. May Allah continue to bless you and your family. Sister Zubida from out there in New York City. May Allah continue to bless you and your family. Jummah Mubarak going out to you as well. Our lecture segment is coming up very, very shortly. So by all means, do keep it locked on to 103.1 FM. This is Soul Inspirations. And I'm yours truly, Imam Safraska.
مولاي صل وسلم دائما ابدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما ابدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم शहर का वक्त था मासूम गलियां मुस्कुराती थी हवाए खैर मकदम के तराने गुनगुनाती थी अभी जिब्रील भी उतरे न थे काबे के मिंबर से कि इतने में सदा आई ये अब्दुल्लाह के घर से मुबारक हो शहे हर दो जहां तशरीफ ले आए मुबारक हो मोहम्मद मुस्तफा तशरीफ ले आए मौलाया सल्ली व सल्लिम दाइमन آبادا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم نہ کوئی آپ جیسا تھا نہ کوئی آپ جیسا ہے کوئی یوں سب سے پوچھے مصطفیٰ کا حسن کیسا ہے زمین و آسمان میں کوئی بھی مثال نہ ملی مولایا صلی وسلم دائما ابدا على حبیبک خیر الخلق كلهم دلیل زندگی وہ ہے کمال بندگی وہ ہے کوئی بھی دور ہو اس میں معراج آدمی وہ ہے وہی تو دین دنیا ہے جو باتیں آپ نے کہی مولایا صلی وسلم دائما ابدا على حبیبک خیر الخلق كلهم کوئی بھی بات ہو ہر حکم ان کا معتبر ایسا کہ ان کا حال ہی کہنا بھی ہے قرآن کے جیسا حدیث پاک کہلائے جو باتیں آپ نے کہی مولایا صلی وسلم دائما ابدا على حبیبک خیر الخلق كلهم سلام اس پر کہ جس نے بے کسوں کی دستگیری کی سلام اس پر کہ جس نے بادشاہی میں فقیری کی سلام اس پر کہ جس کے گھر نہ چاندی تھی نہ سونا تھا سلام اس پر کہ ٹوٹا بوریا جس کا بچھونا تھا درود ان پر سلام ان پر یہی کہنا خدا کا ہے خدا کے بعد جو ہے مرتبہ صلی اللہ کا ہے وہی سردار عالم ہے وہی غفار امت ہے وہی تو حشر کے میدان میں سب کی شفاعت ہے شفاعت کے لیے سب کی نظر ان پر لگی ہوگی مولایا صلی وسلم دائما ابدا على حبیبک خیر الخلق كلهم مولایا صلی وسلم دائما ابدا على حبیبک خیر الخلق كلهم
Welcome back. I'm yours truly, Imam Safraz Ghani, host of this weekly program titled Soul Inspirations, your program for inspiration, information, education, and entertainment. On this beautiful Friday morning, the day of Jum'ah, may Allah continue to bless you and your families. At this point in the program, we now get into our lecture segments. And of course, you can be sure to message me via the WhatsApp number 2994103. Thank you so much for all of the messages I have received thus far. May Allah bless you and your families. So on our lecture segment this morning, I want to share with you a bit of a personal incident. And then from that particular incident, I want to share with you two very important points. So earlier this week, I had the opportunity for the first time to donate blood. The opportunity arose, and I had that particular opportunity to donate blood. So I went to the hospital, and it was there in the hospital that I noticed a couple of things that I wanted to share with you this morning. So first of all, when I walked in, I was ushered into the waiting room. And as I sat there, there was a gentleman who was sitting right next to me. And from the way he was conversing with the staff, the nurses, it occurred to me that he seemed to be a regular customer. It was my first time, so of course I was a bit nervous, unsure what to expect. But the gentleman who was sitting right next to me, he seemed to be a regular customer. Apparently he noticed my nervousness, and in order to try to calm my nerves, he struck up a conversation. And in that conversation, he did actually mention that he had got himself in the habit of quite regularly coming into the blood bank to donate blood. So I then asked him, what is the wisdom behind that particular gesture? Is it that you have a family member who is ill? Is it that you have a family member in the hospital that you need to keep giving this blood for the benefit of that particular family member? So he said to me, no. He said, I'm not a very rich person. I don't really have much resources, but I've always had the desire in my heart to be able to do something for the better of humanity. And he said, this is the only way that I know that I can give some type of meaningful effect to a person who may be in need. He said, I don't have much money, so I can't give funds or financial assistance, but I am healthy, I am strong, I am well. And the least I can do is to give the gift of life to another person who may be in dire need. On hearing his words, I was taken aback, because this act of his was quite admirable, commendable, a very, very selfless act indeed. One is being able to give something to assist another person from a financial perspective, from a moral perspective. But here is an individual who is willing to give of himself literally, not to a family member, not to a friend, but to a stranger who he may never ever come into contact with. And then he said to me that it is prescribed for a male that he can give blood every 3 months. So he said, every 3 months, without missing, I am here to donate that 1 pint of blood. And as I sat there listening to his words, I was then reminded of the verse of the Holy Quran. And in this particular verse, in chapter 5, Almighty Allah speaks about the story of Cain and Abel in the Holy Quran. The Arabic terminology is Habil and Qabil, Cain and Abel. So we all know the story that took place. One brother, they got into an argument, one brother overpowered the other. Eventually he killed him. But then towards the end of that particular story, in chapter 32 in verse 32 to be exact, chapter 5 verse 32, Almighty Allah mentions that whoever kills a person, it is as if he has killed the whole of mankind. But on the flip side of it, whoever does something to save mankind or to save a single human being, it is as if he has saved the whole of mankind. So I sat there listening to this gentleman, trying to put my own nerves at ease. And I thought to myself, what a wonderful gesture. Not in a position to give financially or even morally, but in a position to give physically. And I said to myself, may Allah continue to bless him. Sometimes, when you look in the news on a day-to-day basis, you see so many negative things. And you wonder, where has the good gone from our nation? But I can tell you, there are still good people out there who try their best to do good in their own way, hidden from the general public, unknown to people. And many people who would be receiving assistance from this gentleman will not even know the person who donated this gift of life to them. The second thing I want to mention to you this morning that I noticed while I was there, so after some time the nurses came and ushered us into this room. There were a line of beds and we were all made to lie on one of the beds. At that particular moment there were 3 individuals, 3 of us who had came to donate blood. Myself, the other gentleman, and there was a woman. She also came to donate blood. So we all sat down. The nurses came, cleaned us up. The needle was inserted, and then the bag that was collecting the blood was hanging right on the side of our beds. And what was striking to me was that each one of us, each of the three of us, belonged to a different ethnic group. But the blood that was flowing from our veins was one color, one blood, red blood flowing from our veins. And that is another important message for us to understand, that regardless of who you are, what race you belong to, what nation you belong to, the blood that courses through your veins is one and the same. We are all brothers and sisters in the family of humanity. So after you have finished oppressing one another, after you have finished discriminating, after you have finished looking down on your brother, know that the blood that flows through your veins is not different from the blood that flows through the veins of another person. So don't think that you are on a pedestal because of your stature, because of your rank in the community, because of the language you speak, because of the nation you belong to. We all have one blood. No one has golden blood coursing through his veins. No one has silver blood coursing through his veins. It is not that because you are a person of wealth, your blood is different from the other person. It doesn't work like that. And then again, lying on that bed, I was again reminded of the verse of the Quran. Almighty Allah mentions in chapter 49, verse 13, that, O people, O mankind, we created you from a male and a female, a single male and a single female. We made you into races and tribes so that you may recognize one another. For no other reason. You were not made into nations and tribes to look down on one another or to think superior of yourself. That is not the purpose. You were made into nations and tribes. You were made into nations and tribes quite simply so that you can recognize one another. And then Almighty Allah mentions the best among you. If you're looking for the best of the best among you in the sight of Allah is by all means the most righteous. So if you are righteous, you will be elevated in the sight of Allah in this life and the next world. If you are not righteous, you will be degraded. But whatever you do, wherever you go, don't ever think that you are above another person. Because again, even though we may look different on the outside, our appearances, our complexions might be different, when you cut the flesh, we all have that one blood running through us, which should tell us a very important message, that we are all one, we are all from one and the same family. And if you can understand that particular concept of unity, we will be able to achieve so much more upon the face of the earth. So may Almighty Allah continue to grant us the opportunity to become better individuals. May we use the opportunity given to us in this life to serve others. And may we continue to make a positive effort or a positive effect in the world as long as Almighty Allah continues to grant us life.
Jumma Mubarak, Jumma Mubarak, Jumma Mubarak. It is Friday, this is the best day. Jumma Mubarak, Jumma Mubarak, Jumma Mubarak, Jumma Mubarak. Waking up in the morning, got the special Friday feeling. Getting ready in my best clothes now. My jumper looking crisp, going all out. Jumping my ride to the masjid. Here in the hood, but it's a blessing. Now we're standing and we're up and we're praying. Then I greet our kids with Assalamu alaikum. Friday is here and it is the best of days. When we go to the masjid and we all pray. There are blessings on this special day. Thank you, Allah. Thank you for this day. Jumma, Jumma Mubarak. Jumma, Jumma Mubarak. Jumma, Jumma Mubarak. It is Friday. This is the best day. Jumma, Jumma Mubarak. Jumma, Jumma Mubarak. Jumma, Jumma Mubarak. Jumma Mubarak. Jumma Mubarak. Friday sunnahs are locked down. Looking fresh with my miswas. We didn't see the talk up on a Friday. I said it's so what on the prophet. Peace be upon him. Friday is here and it is the best of days. When we go to the masjid and we all pray. There are blessings on this special day. Thank you, Allah. Thank you for this day. Jumma, Jumma Mubarak. Jumma, Jumma Mubarak. Jumma, Jumma Mubarak. It is Friday. This is the best day. Jumma, Jumma Mubarak. Jumma, Jumma Mubarak. Jumma, Jumma Mubarak. Jumma Mubarak. Jumma Mubarak. We all get this special day to change our ways, to cleanse our hearts, a brand new start. Oh, and don't forget that hour of Saturday is the job where prayers are accepted from our Allah. Jumma, Jumma Mubarak. Jumma, Jumma Mubarak. Jumma, Jumma Mubarak. It is Friday, this is the best day. Jumma, Jumma Mubarak. Jumma, Jumma Mubarak. Jumma, Jumma Mubarak. Jumma Mubarak. Jumma Mubarak.
Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah. Subhanallah.
As we're coming to the end of the program for this morning, I want to take the opportunity to say a very special thank you going out to the sponsors. The program this morning is being brought to you through the kind courtesy of the Price Club Supermarket located at Ramsaran Street in Chaguanas. Contact number 671-7777. Point Fortune Hardware Limited Wholesale Division located at French Settlement in Currently. Phone number 662-1233-678-0857. Adams Project Management and Construction Limited located at number 66 Omera Industrial Estate outlet in Arima. Phone number 645-8326-663-9144. The Original Barbecue Hut Limited located at number 85 to 89 Cipero Road, Victoria Village in San Fernando. Phone number 657-9429. And Absolute Investments Limited of Monroe Road in Kinpia. I also want to take the opportunity as well to say a very special salam and greetings of peace going out to Sister Aisha George. Thank you so much for your message. Sister Felicia Roland and Brother Jimmy from out there in Hartlepool. Thank you so much for your message. May Allah continue to bless you on this very special day of Jum'ah. Pleasant good morning as well. Going out to Brother Hameen, who has joined us from out there in South Trinidad. Sister Faida Muhammad, Assalamu alaikum, going out to you as well. Pleasant good morning. Assalamu alaikum going out to Zina Tiwari. And also a very special salam and greetings of peace going out to Patsy Puran from out there in Chaguanas. Thank you so much for your message. Pleasant good morning as well going out to Annie Bihari from out there in Rio Claro. Nirala, good morning going out to you as well. Sister Shazmin from out there in Charlieville. Assalamu alaikum. Ria from out there in Rochard Road in Pinal. Pleasant good morning going out to you as well. Kate Sukdale from out there in Vesini. May Allah continue to bless you and your family. And also pleasant good morning going out to Lou Ramdas from out there in New Grant. And of course we say a very special salam and greetings of peace going out to all of our listeners and viewers who joined us on the program this morning, and to everyone who messaged on the program. May Allah continue to bless you and your families. Of course, it was an absolute pleasure to be in your company over the past hour or so. By all means, Do catch me next week, Friday, from 5 a.m. for another segment of Soul Inspiration. It's your program for inspiration, information, education, and entertainment. I'm your host and brother in humanity, Imam Safras Ghani, signing out for this morning. Until next week, please do have an extremely blessed day. Stay safe, and of course, stay in the mercy of Almighty Allah. Much love. May the peace, blessings, and mercies of Almighty Allah be with you. Up next is news at 6, followed by Prabhat. By all means, do keep it locked on to 103.1 FM for more inspirational and motivational programming throughout the course of the day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
हम तेरे बिना अब रह नहीं सकते, तेरे बिना क्या वजूद मेरा। हम तेरे बिना अब रह नहीं सकते, तेरे बिना क्या वजूद मेरा। तुझसे जुदा अगर हो जाएंगे तो खुद से ही हो जाएंगे जुदा। अब तुम ही हो, बस तुम ही।